I had my stroke on the 1st of September 2002, and I was in the Rose Garden in Blenheim Palace with my children and some friends' children. And we were having a lovely day, and I had been sort of covered with kids on the grass, you know, being a dinosaur or something. And when I tried to get up to go and follow them, I couldn't move. The whole world went a bit around me, and I reached sort of for the ground and couldn't feel it, and I reached for my legs and couldn't feel them, and my trousers felt sort of empty, like I'd been shot.
Come on, Daddy, we're leaving!
I was just a blank, you know, sort of empty person lying on the ground.
Every year in the UK, 150,000 people have a stroke. This is roughly equivalent to one person every 5 minutes. Stroke is the second biggest killer and the #1 cause of serious disability. It can strike at any time.
I was in breakfast time, a shower.
I was going Christmas shopping with my wife.
Walked down a perfectly straight corridor, straight, flat, no steps, no corners, to our flat, and tripped and fell over again. And this time I couldn't get up.
So I was walking past a mirror in my hallway, quite a large mirror, and I noticed that my eye looked funny.
And I was weightlifting using £10 weights, and I lifted them incorrectly and damaged an artery in the left side of my neck.
This hand and that one, and speech, and reading and writing, and numbers, and communication.
For those who survive the ordeal, hospital is just the beginning. As well as physical symptoms, stroke patients also suffer with depression, boredom, frustration, loss of memory and fear.
The dog's master grabbed his shotgun and fired at his own dog. But the gun was loaded with...
It is during this period that InterAct reading service can make a difference. It was founded in the year 2000 by theatre director Caroline Smith.
Well, it was a seed that was sown by my brother, in fact, who was a psychiatrist, and I come from a theatre background. And when he was very ill, we had long conversations between us about how medicine, the medical world, could be helped by the arts. And his view was that the arts could provide stimulation, could provide a change of mood in patients, and with these two things, that patient would want to get better, help get better, and be better faster.
Hello, how are you?
The charity provides live and interactive readings to stroke patients at a time when the injured brain needs as much stimulation as possible. Sister Margaret McLaughlin.
Since meeting the InterAct team, I think it's probably about 10 years ago, they've been very valuable working and supporting us with looking after stroke patients particularly. And InterAct have got time to sit and read individual to an individual patient, try and obtain some feedback so that they actually will interact, and then from that I find that they actually are much easier communicating with staff, with therapists.
Arlene Ward, therapist.
I definitely see that InterAct has a benefit with the patients. Once they've been spoken to or read to, they're much more in focus, in tune, and definitely more receptive with the therapy that they receive afterwards.
An independent research programme was carried out over 1 year by St Thomas's Hospital, London.
And one of the things that they picked up on this research was that the ward was a very much better place after they'd had group readings, because suddenly they were all laughing together, they all had something in common together, they were talking to each other, whereas before there was this sort of isolation from one bed to another.
And as soon as the dynamite left his master's hand,
InterAct currently have over 200 professional actors on their books, who are specially trained in using all their dramatic skills to communicate with the patients.
Happiness will follow you everywhere you go.
Which one of you mangy polecats painted my horse red?
Honour the charge they made, honour the Light Brigade, noble 600.
I insisted that they had to be professional actors because one of the main things is to communicate with a patient. Well, anybody who's ever been in hospital knows how difficult it is for a patient lying there to concentrate on anything. So whoever is going to read to them needs to have all the dramatic skills at their disposal, like the use of the pause, for instance. They also need to, because so many of the patients we knew had problems with speech, they also needed to be able to pick up the unspoken reaction and know how to deal with it. Because an actor, a trained actor, is trained to pick up what's going wrong with this audience, what's right with this audience, how can I correct it? And that's why, more than anything else, I felt it was very important to use professionally trained actors.
They deliver over 11,000 readings a year in 20 hospitals and 50 stroke clubs in London and across the UK.
Budgerigars are native to which country?
They provide material that stimulates patients from every walk of life, chosen to suit their present level of comprehension.
Well, we don't know what's coming tomorrow.
But demand for the service far outweighs the funding. Nirjay Mahindru, Chief Executive.
Because we don't get any government money, every penny for us really does count. So it doesn't matter how small the donation is, that money will go a hell of a long way. For example, if we were to get a sum of £10,000, £10,000 would pay for our service in a hospital for a year.
I remember some very good quotes by various patients who were saying things like providing good food for the brain.
InterAct reading services contributes to the general well-being of the patients. It makes them more confident communicating, it makes them more proactive in their treatment. I know it works, I just don't know what makes it work, but as a package, it is a very positive element of a patient's recovery.
So I think it's a stroke of genius, the actual idea of how the company works. And I'm very grateful for that.
The work of InterAct does speed up recovery of patients through the rehab in this hospital.
This made me feel so special. I couldn't wait for the next session.
Really a huge amount of stimulus and intimacy and joy.
Obviously that's exercising your brain as well, and this is the whole thing, because your memory has been damaged. If you don't use it, you're going to lose it.
And I think with InterAct, it's one-on-one contact, and part of the message is someone's here for me. And I think that's really important.
It's the expression on the faces. She reads, she lives the story. And that's what I like.
And we always hoped that it would become an official fourth therapy. That's the dream.
As a patron of the InterAct reading service, I would ask you to give generously so that the charity can maintain their vital service to all stroke patients.